It's Jennifer here from Belladonna's Botanicals, and this is your August 2024 updates about what we've been up to. And hey, I got my hair done finally. So I've been doing a slow burn kind of like rainbow fade. So every time I get my bleach my roots out, I get like a new color added in. So we added in some of the orange and like a golden yellow this time. Next time will be like the reds and pinks, I think. So um anyways, enough about my hair news. So, what is going on this month? Oop, bouncing thing. So, first up, I just want to say I am attempting to take a little bit of vacation time sporadically this month. It's not like I'm taking off X date to Y date. It might just be like I take off a couple days here, a couple days there, catching up on things in between. Um, Kind of, I lost a lot of July to a pain flare up. As I've mentioned before, I have an autoimmune psoriatic arthritis and had a pain flare up, or it had to do with other things because, hey, why have one thing wrong with you when you can have a dozen? Um, but anyway, so I lost a little bit of time. Also, towards the end of July was Fairs, FAIRE, the wholesale marketplace I use. They have their insider market. So I have about 20 wholesale orders. I'm down to one. I have one more to go from July. And so not only have I had to deal with a pain flare up, a lot of wholesale orders. I am out of stock of so very many things, and I have an event to vend at this weekend. So, and it's Thursday. I'm like, well, we're just gonna bring whatever we can. Um, I have things made. I just haven't finished packaging them yet. I'm like, okay, I need 6 of it for this order, one for this order thing, and then just put it aside, get to it when I can. So, I'm also out of a lot of supplies. So, yeah, that's fun. Anywho. So just say like I would say up until about mid-month, like around the 15th, things might be a little like I would err on things taking a little longer to ship than faster. On the days that I'm gonna be just not at all working, I may put my Amazon shop on vacation mode just because they're an ass pain. But I'll never understand what the settings like why I get 2 orders in right now. One I have to ship right now today or it's going to be late, and the other one I can ship within 2 days. Um they don't know either. But anyways, that's a story for another time. So, and since I'm going to be taking some vacation time, I am running a sale through August 15th. Um for 20% off, and that's on our website and Etsy. I encourage you to shop at our solely on our website. I'll get to why in a minute, or two. But so through and we've got a lot of stuff coming on. It's Lunasa, we've got Mercury retrograde, we've got the Lionsgate portal, and hey, I'm taking some vacation time because things start getting a little more hectic once we get into spooky season. So there's that. Upcoming events, I have the Gypsy Witch market August 3rd. Yes. That's a Saturday. That's at Handmade Mystic in Whitehall, PA. I will be there. And the Fall Plant Fest is September 8th, and that's at Arts Quest in Bethlehem, PA, and I'll be vending there as well. And crap, there's another one. There's a spiritual and holistic expo, which I don't think I've put on my calendar yet. Might be the previous weekend or the weekend after. I don't know. So let's see. Okay. So we're going to go next up. I'm just looking at my notes to keep myself on track because we know how ADHD be. So the next thing I want to talk about is why I was a little throwing some shade at Etsy is because once again they've decided to completely screw their sellers over with unannounced changes. So they just went like full on, puritanical bullshit on anything mature content and didn't tell any of this, didn't announce it until after the rollout, after people had their shops completely shut down, after product like I had some stuff delisted. So, and I kind of, again, like when they do this, I usually get on support and Karen out on them for a while, and I have zero regrets about that. But basically, anything there are guidelines, and I guess they got a lot of complaints. So the day after they rolled out all these changes, no announcement of it beforehand. No, like, hey, by the way, if you sell mature content, we're making all these changes and stuff like that. So for me, I'm not selling, devices or, lingerie or stuff like that. But some of the products we have now, the love spell stuff is okay for now, but like our sex magic ritual oil will no longer be available on Etsy. I had to pull our Barbie, Black Magic Barbie slut water and slut water pendants because we can't use those words anymore. Even in tags, you can't use like sexy perfume. There's so many things that they do, and it's absolutely. This is why I get so irritated with Etsy, and like they're just a lot of these places are just absolute crap. I'm like, yes, you're supporting a small business, but you're also making, bullshit billionaires more rich, while they, you know, suck our lifeblood. Because like, I pay in just fees, not advertising, just in Etsy fees alone, probably about $1,000 a month. So I'm paying them $12,000 a year. And it's they do this stuff. They did the same thing with medical claims. Last year, right around the time Roe versus Wade got overturned, there was a lot of herbal restrictions, like on penny oil and things like that, because that's used in herbal teas to move things along and out. Now, the zero point 0.1 ounce that is in an entire batch of a bath salt isn't going to do shit, but it's just a blanket across the board. If it has this in it, you can't sell it. So I'm kind of getting a little tired of their tyrannical bullshit. Like, just make a filter or something, like to entirely remove any mature content. Like, and they give people no warning. So it's like, okay, if you're selling lingerie or clothing and it's sheer, well, now you've got to, put a bar over, make sure there's no knit slips or, a little bit of a butt cheek, sticking out. You can't use, words like slut or, who's your daddy, that sort of thing. And it's just absolutely like, what? It's, I'm just incredibly frustrated with Etsy. And honestly, please stop supporting them. I'm honestly at the point where I'm just going to double my prices on everything because I'm so freaking sick of it. And same with Amazon. Like, they treat us like horribly. And for the amount of money I pay and to not them a year, and that's before advertising. And so throw a couple, few more $1,000 on that a year. So Etsy siphons off probably somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 from me every year. Yeah, I'll let that sink in for a minute. So when you think you're supporting small businesses, you're really supporting Etsy. And a lot of times we have to on Etsy and Amazon, we have to sell things at like, I could sell things cheaper if I didn't have to pay so much in fees. Like, the amount of money, like, I realize there's cost of doing business and stuff like that, but like $12,000, I could probably rent a brick and mortar store, maybe more than that, depending on the size and location. But that's a lot of money. And for how they treat us and how they roll these things out, all sneaky bullshit, is really just crappy business. And they're becoming more and more conservative. They keep adding new features and pulleys about new things that we're going to be able to do and stuff like that. I'm like, can you fix the shit that's broken? Like your 20 years out of date shipping functionality. Like the fact that I can ship USPS or UPS, but I can't do both. So I can't, I could only offer one thing. And, and if you can technically, but then you have to do like a per item or per package fee. And it's like, how do you quantify that? Like, it's different for, like, if I added $5 per product, well, okay, you order 20 products, you just paid $200 in shipping. It's not going to cost me $200 to ship it to you unless you live in like South Africa and I'm having a private courier to you. So, yeah, Etsy's garbage. So is Amazon, and they're just getting worse. Like, they are not here to support us. They're just here to make money off of us at this point in time. And the thing with Etsy is they act like, oh, Etsy customers. I'm like, bullshit. They're not your customers. Etsy don't sell shit. You're a glorified search engine. There are customers who are just buying stuff through your bullshit platform because it's easy or whatever. Um, but anyways, I'll get off my fuck Etsy soapbox, which seems to land on multiple times a year anymore. Um, that being said, so now that I'm done bitching about Etsy, I think, um, yeah, the it's so garbage because like the email that came out, actually, I think it was yesterday, was it, or the day before? So on July 31st, this is the notification we got. Effective July 29th, adult nudity and sexual content policy introduces more I'm like, so you informed us of it 2 days after you put it into practice and shut people's shops down, delisted products, cost a lot of sellers money and whatnot. I don't know. But that is really garbage business practice. For a company as big as Etsy, they should be notifying you of this beforehand. Like, I mean, I'll give you an example. So, sorry, I told you I was done bitching about Etsy, but I'm gonna bitch about it a little more. But like back, so I have my Amazon handmade shop. So a few years ago, they were like, okay, all main images have to have a pure white background. They gave us 6 months to do this. So it was announced. It was like, okay, by July 1st, you have to have a white background on all your main images for it. They gave us notice. They didn't just shut our shops down and delete or delist our products for not having the white background without any notice. This is what Etsy does consistently, and it is enraging. And I tell them every time, like, because every time you get a product delisted, it comes with the threat of having your shop shut down or suspended. I'm like, this is my sole form of income. About half of my revenue comes from Etsy still. And I'm like, so you're going to make me homeless, over because of your shitty business practices? Like, I make sure I always say, I'm like, look, I am disabled. This is my sole form of income. You shut my shop down, I'm going to be homeless very fast, because, anyways, I will get off my soapbox now. I just wanted to kind of give that little bit of an example of, now, I'm not saying Amazon is great for best business practices, but at least when they did a change like that, they gave us time. So to do it. So with Etsy, they're just like, yeah, fuck you. And that's just terrible. That's just bad business. And it's like, I always report this, like, oh, we'll make sure we send this up to, I'm like, bullshit, you will. Because it's the same shit every freaking time. Um, but anyways, moving along to more fun things. So we do have some new products this month, which I didn't bring over with me, but I will grab them real quick. And we have more on the way. I've been really working on adding more candles to our collection. So I don't remember what I showed you last time as far as the candles and stuff that we had released up until that point. But so far, just I dropped these within the past week. So just in time for Mercury retrograde, we have, ooh, sorry to blind you there, Mercury retrograde protection wax melts. So I have two different types of Mercury retrograde candles that we've done. So what I've been doing with these, I really like working with vintage glass. So as things become available to me, I just will buy what's available. So these are one of the models of our Mercury retrograde candles, and that has hematite and lapis lazuli, uh, chamomile, clary sage. I'm like, what's the other herb I put on this? So this is you'll forgive me, I don't remember the style of glass that this is, but I just pick up different types of vintage glass. So they're all going to be kind of limited edition. Like this one, I think maybe there's 7 or 8 available. So next time I make the different candles, they may be in an entirely different vessel. It all depends. I'm kind of keeping it fresh, making things different. We also have a smaller version in these plum. I want to say it looks sort of like black amethyst. Not, I don't know if it's the black amethyst or like an amethyst vintage glass, but same sort of design. It's just little one, big one. So those are our Mercury retrograde candles since we are fastly approaching Mercury retrograde. Um, I made these cute. Sorry, I kind of put the cling film on top just so they don't get crud on them. These are little like 8-ounce tumblers. They're called roly polies, apparently. And this one's called Moonflower. It's got a nice floral fragrance. And I made little showing a weird angle. There we go. These are all little also wax. They're from a mold. So, and since I did the rose offering candles with the green bowls, I now just have the candles available. The candles available if you have the bowl and you want to get a refill, or you just like the candle and want to use it for something else. These are also available now. Running out of desk space. I added 2 new design or types for our money or wealth and abundance candles. So these are this milk glass. We'll try to show it to you without. There we go. So you can see there's sort of different textures on it. So, but it's a nice size. So that's kind of, how big it is. I forget the ounce. I want to say maybe 8-ounce. That's about similar to that. Yeah. So these are the wealth and abundance candles. And I also have a slightly larger one I did. These are like a iced tea kind of glass. So those are also our wealth candles. Because who doesn't need a lot more wealth and abundance in their life? And I did 2 small kind of votive ones. Wrap it. So I think this is the dragon's blood candle. So it's kind of, it's a little stemmed glass. So it's got, it's little. But what's nice about these, and this is kind of how I got hooked on vintage glass, was, a lot of people do make candles with them. So that's kind of how I started. I'm like, oh, these are cool. So, and then this is just a small little votive. This is a Nag Champa one. Not super frilly or anything, but smells nice. I love me some Nag Champa. And now I can't get to my desk because it's covered in candles. All right. So I think the last thing on the docket for today, because I'm very busy trying to get everything done, I'm working on some upcoming. Every once in a while, I kind of evaluate like the products that we have, how they're selling, what I want to add more of, what I kind of want to take out of circulation or change. And I think right now, like I kind of look at 2 things. Am I enjoying making it? Because once I stop enjoying making it, I may as well not make it anymore. Or sometimes it's just a matter of cost. Like some things just get like there's a point at which, as inflation goes up, are you going to want to pay like $25 for our bar of soap? Probably not. So, some things kind of get landlocked there. So what I've been looking at is, especially with adding like the candles and wax melts into the rotation, and that I'm really enjoying making those because I hated making candles for a while, is that so the first thing I want to do, I'm probably going to do, I just have to do it, is for our spellfires, which grab one, if you're not familiar with them. So these are the ones that come in the flask bottles. This is all isopropyl alcohol, so they're good for like burning sigils, fire scrying, burnt offerings, that sort of thing. Also, it's one of the things that it's not like they're hard to make. It's just the bottles are really they can be kind of pricey, and a lot of times for question mark reasons, they're just unavailable for a chunk of time. Like I have to order more, and I'm like crossing my fingers that they won't be out of stock for 6 months, because then I have to buy them on Amazon and they are like 3 times as expensive. So whereas I can get a gross for like $100, I can get 12 for 25. So do the math there. So one of the things I think that I'm going to be doing with the spell fires is I'm going to shift them into the made to order spell fires. So I don't have to make batches in advance. Like, oh, well, I'm out of the Lilith spell fire. So I've got to make a whole batch of Lilith spell fires. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is moving some of that stuff to like more made to order, which is, they'll still be available. It's just I'm not gonna have individual listings for them, and keeping, you know, an entire batch in stock at all times. I'll make them when I have an order, but beyond that. Um, Next up, I think I'm currently reevaluating our perfume fragrance offerings because I've really haven't been making. I haven't designed any new perfumes in like 2 years at this point. I actually have some designed. I started last year. I just never got around to making them. There's a lot of niche perfumers now, so you know, it's not like I'm gonna stop making them entirely. But again, these are probably going to go into more of a made to order thing. So they'll still be available. We'll bring back some of our old ones that we discontinued because sometimes people are like, hey, I got this perfume for you a couple of years ago. You don't have it anymore. And I do custom stuff for that. So I'll probably be doing that as well. I'm considering, once I'm out of our current stock of bottles, discontinuing the 1 ounce spray bottle version and just have solely the 2 ounce ones. We'll still be doing the perfume oils. So again, I think it's just going to kind of be, those are going to shift into the made to order um, category. Makes my life a little easier. So the other thing I want to, this is more just of a procedural. I don't think too much is gonna. I don't know if too much is gonna change. Is looking at our loose incense blends, is they are so resource heavy. So it's like to make one batch of, say, Lilith incense, it can wipe me out just because of the volume it takes. It can wipe me out of like three or four or five different herbs at one fell swoop, because they'll be like, well, 2 ounces of this, 2 ounces of that, and okay, we don't have any more ounces of this. So I'm trying to find a little bit more cost-effective ways to do it. I mean, I do love the loose incense blends, but um, if anything, they also may go into the speaking of incense, I have to make some incense later. They may end up going into the made to order categories. Because I'm doing that kind of with the spirit stones as well at this point. So um also looking into combining, just as far as branding goes, because right now they're sort of separate, and there was a reason for that initially. Is I don't say rebranding, but like we have the ritual oils and then we have the crystal healing oils, and then to just kind of make them all in the same category. It's we just have to outsmart people at this point, because one of the questions I get sometimes is people want to use them like they think that this is an essential oil or a fragrance oil or something they can put in, like, a crappy MLM water-based diffuser, which will clog it right the fuck up because it's got all the herbs and uh carrier oils in it and stuff like that. So it's like kind of having to, one of the ones I run into the problems with is my bayberry ritual oil. Like I had to give it a specific thing because people were just assuming it was a bayberry fragrance oil and then being annoyed about that it wasn't. Like, it doesn't say it is. So, and people don't read, so kind of try to make things as obvious as I can. Um so, and in that, we'll probably be pulling out and rebranding sort of, just put them as our luxury specialty oils, like the ones that use like higher grade crystals in, like our Moldavite crystal healing oil, the manifestation oil, and the spirit guide ones are a little more expensive, between like 25 and 40, I think, each, whereas the rest of our oils are about 18 each right now. So just kind of figuring some of that stuff out. So, um, yeah. So I think that's it for the changes. And one other thing I wanted to mention, forgot to when I was complaining about Amazon and Etsy before, is earlier I talked about doing fulfillment by Amazon, and I just haven't had the time really yet to dedicate to it. It's the wholesale game has through Fair has been really lucrative for me, and I feel like that is where my priorities lie. And I may still end up doing it for something, Amazon fulfillment by Amazon for some things, but honestly, at this point, Amazon is just becoming a crap merchant like Temu. And I mean, sure, I suppose I could get more sales if it was just shipping directly from a warehouse, but also what you have to realize with fulfillment by Amazon and why everything on Amazon now is a lot more expensive than it used to be is how much it costs. Like, you have to have, space rental per month, and then in peak times, it's more expensive, and then the processing fees and all that. So, for every single thing I would sell on Amazon, they're taking $7 roughly, depending on the cost and size and weight of things. So, for some things like the Spellfires, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that because of the weight or whatnot. But, you know, I don't know that I see any real value in it because, like, and I've said this, Amazon, my Amazon account I've had since what, 2001. So my Amazon account is 23 years old. I've ordered a lot of stuff on Amazon in those 23 years, and in the past year, I have returned more stuff to Amazon than I for being crap, for breaking, or just not working right. Like, I just got a bathroom rug, and I'm like, this thing is just like the fibers of it are just like everywhere. Like, I'm like, I just literally took it out, put it on the floor, and I'm like, I've got little red like pilly things all over the house now, and I just vacuumed, which I'm rather annoyed about. So the quality on Amazon stuff has gone down exponentially. And also, in order for us to sell things on Amazon, like, granted, if you need something right away, because that's really the only reason why I buy things on Amazon is the, oh crap, I need this and it'll get here faster, or I don't have time to go, searching for it otherwise. Um, so yeah, the quality is terrible. And they're really moving a lot more towards that like cheap overseas unbranded crap. Um, because like I was trying to find, I wanted to get like a new mouse for my, I couldn't even find like a Microsoft or an Apple mouse. Like, it was like, random, Jing Jing Boo, blah, or Mix You, blah, like just nonsensical letters strung together. That's maybe a brand. I don't know. That didn't translate well, but yeah, like most of the stuff I've got on Amazon, I've had to return like almost immediately, just for being absolute crap. Like, I use, because what they're hoping for with this is you miss the return window, and you've paid the money, you've got a piece of crap that broke in a month, and whatever. So no big loss there. But and from dealing on the seller side of things, so much is broken on Amazon's back end at this point. Like, I'm surprised it even functions at this point. It's ridiculous. But so I'm kind of have the fulfillment by Amazon on hold. I maybe for the holidays look into it again, but like, I just don't feel like it's, I don't know that I feel like it's going to change a whole lot. I mean, it could, but I mean, especially like holiday time, but we would just also have to like, so whatever it costs now probably would be cost about $7 more. So now again, it puts you into that weird thing. Are you going to want to pay $25 or however much for a 5-ounce thing of bath salts? I like being, and the other thing is they would be in control of logistics and stuff like that. So if people just want to do bullshit like, oh, I don't like this, it doesn't have enough cinnamon in it, and they'll just, return it. Like, at least now I can kind of inter uh intervene, and if there's chargebacks or shit like that, I can challenge it. And at best Amazon will just, refund them out of their money, which I'm fine with because um yeah. So, well, Amazon and Etsy bitching aside, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about before I get going, since it's been going about half an hour. We'll have some more videos coming up. I don't know what the video schedule is going to be like since I'm taking a little bit of downtime. I don't know what that's going to look like because I do have some like intense ritual stuff that like I need to start like soon. And so I'm gonna be doing some ritual stuff. So there might be some things that like some gnosis that comes out in video that I'll put into videos. So it's yeah. Um Anyways, I think that is all for now. If you're watching, still watching, thank you. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Be sure to follow us on social media, sign up for our e-newsletter, and yeah, because algorithms suck, and that they do. Anywho, I love you all, and until next time, bye.